Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the predicted outcome for WrestleMania Backlash. Yes, WrestleMania Backlash. We give you predictions and previews for tonight's WrestleMania Backlash on what matches will steal the show and a lot others. Also, we're coming off news after hearing the sad death of pro wrestler New Jack. New Jack, who was known for hardcore wrestling throughout the 90s and all. He has passed away from a heart attack at the age of 58 years old. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, also here on the Pro Wrestling Show, Andrade making moves that he's been in talks with AEW. Will Andrade make that move and jump to AEW? Well, we know he requested his release from WWE, and now Andrade may be thinking AEW in the future. Not so subtle as Andrade's former business manager, Selena Vega. There are reports that she may be coming back to WWE as she was spotted in the Performance Center. And could we see WWE fans come back this summer? It's a possibility, like a lot of things. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show for WrestleMania Backlash. Predict the outcome. Yes, WrestleMania Backlash. I guess the Backlash banner has WrestleMania under it with predict the outcome. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing as we talk about WrestleMania Backlash right here. WrestleMania Backlash comes to you this weekend and six amazing matches, including a grudge match, Will Lumberjack match, and championship matches, Gordon out the blue. A lot of championship matches and stuff. So let's get started with the WWE Championship match. As you see right here, Bobby Lashley, the current WWE Champion, the Almighty WWE Champion, the walk-in destroyer Bobby Lashley, defends his goal against Drew McIntyre and now Braun Strowman, which is a triple threat match for the WWE title. These two men, these three men, has been embroiled into battle throughout the Raw brand for the WWE Championship. Now it comes to full circle where Bobby Lashley does not have to be pinned to lose his championship in the match between Drew and Braun. It was originally supposed to be Bobby Lashley versus Drew coming off their WrestleMania match. Well, they had to spice things up and add Braun into the mix. Now Braun Strowman into the mix. Could Braun Strowman leave as WWE champion? Or could Drew walk out as the Scottish Warrior as the WWE champion or Lashley? No question about it. Um, we know Braun is gonna get pinned by one of the two. So my belief is that Drew McIntyre will win. Hopefully, the last time I said at WrestleMania he was supposed to win, he didn't win due to a rain delay. But Bobby Lashley retained his title. So look for Drew McIntyre to win the WWE Championship, capturing his third WWE World title. Drew McIntyre has been a popular babyface on Raw as of late. So Drew coming off the heels of WrestleMania with that stunning defeat over Lashley will make up for it at WrestleMania by defeating Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman by pinning Braun Strowman. Ooh. Also, also on the Raw brand, Damian Priest come off the heels of WrestleMania with that sensational matchup with Bad Bunny in that tag team match between Miz and Morrison. Now Damian Priest goes one-on-one against the Miz, but it's not normally a one-on-one match. It's a lumberjack match. What that means is all the Raw superstars will surround the ring to keep both men, the Miz and Damian Priest, in the match. So Damian Priest will have nowhere to go. Miz will certainly have nowhere to go. This is a match of when Miz like to come off the heels of Bad Bunny defeating him, pinning him 1, 2, 3 at WrestleMania. So I would say Damian Priest will win this match, and he will win decisively. So Damian Priest will win in that lumberjack match. Even the odds for him in that match. Also, the SmackDown Tag Team titles are on the line as Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic challenge the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Dirty Dogs, Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler in a SmackDown Tag Team title match. Now, this could be historic making for Rey and Dominic. Rey and Dominic could be the first father-son duo in WWE history to win WWE Tag Team Gold. That's never happened before. Nothing with not with Vince McMahon or Shane McMahon or some who's the Von Erichs, the Funks. It never happened. But the Mysterio family could do the impossible and win the SmackDown Tag Team titles, become the first tag team champions, father son. I think if I recall, Larry the Axe Hennig and Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig were tag team champions in the AWA. So could Mysterio's follow in the Hennig's footstep, winning tag team gold? My firm belief is Rey Mysterio will, and his son Dominic, will capture the SmackDown Tag Team Gold, and they will become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions going forward. So good for them. Look forward to that. All right, we'll stop right down the first half of the pro wrestling show for predict outcome for WrestleMania Backlash, but we're gonna move over to hot topics. All right, on hot topics this week. When I say hot topics this week, hot topics comes with a shocking news that legendary hardcore wrestler New Jack, yes, New Jack, who was a subject of Dark Side of the Ring, was now been found dead of a heart attack. New Jack brought that extremism to ring, his violence, his say never say die attitude. New Jack passed away at the age of 48 this week, this Friday, of a apparent heart attack. Our sincere condolences and prayers goes to New Jack's family at this time. New Jack was that. I remember New Jack in ECW. He was a staple in ECW. He would do the most crazy, death-defying moves, going, power bombing folks through a table, or flying through a building, or flying through something. It was shocking to hear that New Jack passed away. And I remember watching some tapes of Jim Cornette used to talk about him, that he was in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Didn't know New Jack was in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but it was intriguing to see. I'm like, wow. And then lo and behold, New Jack there was a docu-series on Dark Side of the Ring last year, Coroner Life of New Jack, and I'm glad Dark Side of the Ring did so. And New Jack said that he did a lot of drug abuse, like cocaine, substance, a lot. But a lot of people tie New Jack to the mass transit accident. You may recall the mass transit accident where New Jack and another untrained wrestler, New Jack had almost killed that man, but the man has deceased. So New Jack has a legacy in hardcore wrestling that won't be parallel destroyed. But it's kind of hard to see that New Jack no longer with us, and his legacy will live on in the minds of hardcore wrestling. So if you think hardcore wrestling, you think of New Jack, and New Jack was that. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family of New Jack at this time. Also tonight on this past week on SmackDown, this Friday night on SmackDown, Natalya and Tamina, daughters of Jimmy Snoop Fly Snooker and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, are now the new women's tag team champions. Yes, they've done it. The new women's tag team champions. So we got new women's tag champs. So what that means is they're carrying on the legacy of their late fathers. So they defeated Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler, and what a tremendous match it was on that. So congratulations in order to the new SmackDown, new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Tamina and Natalya. All right. Also, speaking of champions, we talked about Miro. Miro won the TNT title. I'm considering Miro being the wrestler of the week because he won gold. Miro defeated Darby Allin in a match that many people didn't see coming. It was so funny. I like, wow, Miro just destroying Darby Allin. But to me, Miro has been wrestler of the week this week in the pro wrestling show. So we're gonna give Miro that honor and distinction because Miro said what he was gonna do. He challenged Darby Allin and he took his guitars, and that's it on that. Speaking of that, Andrade. We know Andrade's been a busy man ever since leaving WWE. Andrade now thinking about making rounds to AEW. He has talks with AEW, but Andrade says that it's just right now they're gonna wait and see. So wherever Andrade lands, we're gonna see. That's just coming out the heels of Tessa Blanchard as well. They saying that she was going to join AEW, and I guess that didn't pan out. So we just had to see on that. So with Tessa Blanchard. Also, speaking of Andrade's former businessman, Selena Vega has been spotted in the WWE Performance Center. Now, a lot of people saying Selena Vega has, remember that feud she had, that beef that with the Twitch account. Selena didn't want to leave her Twitch account, and now Selena Vega trying to make her rounds to come back to the WWE Performance Center, and now she might well come back soon than we say she is. So this is a good look for Selena Vega, making her rounds. So look for Selena Vega to come back to WWE and make an impact. We don't know what she's gonna do, but I was knew she was coming back to WWE some way somehow. Okay. Speaking of that, Y2J Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho has a elbow injury that he'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks. But Chris Jericho's trooper, he appeared on AEW this week, and they said Jericho might work through the match with the elbow injury. So we'll see with Jericho. So Jericho is slated to schedule to appear at that Stadium Stampede. So against Jericho's group, the Inner Circle, against MJF's group, the Pinnacle. So we'll see how all this will transpire with Jericho's injury and stuff. Speaking of that, could we be seeing WWE fans coming in the near future? That's a possibility. They say that the WWE wants to bring fans back in capacity to nearly in mid-July or to SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam will be the perfect fall to come back. So when fans come back, because look at the success of WrestleMania, all those fans coming out during that COVID era, come on. It's typical. Everyone knows it's going to happen eventually between WWE, bringing those fans back. They're just trying to find safe ways and guidelines to do it. That they was hurting with the pandemic, but now they're coming off of the pandemic and trying to bring fans back in attendance. So we'll just have to see on that. And there's trouble in paradise. A lot of people are saying that the AEW executive VPs are no longer speaking to each other. Now, I guess they're trying to say Cody is not in speak good terms with Omega and the Young Bucks. When they first started AEW, like they said, it was too many people in the kitchen, in the soup kitchen. Well, that could be the case, as Omega is the world champion and the Bucks are the world tag champs. And Cody doesn't have a title neither. He was TNT champion, but he said that he didn't want to go for the world title. So that's what PWI Insider is saying, that Cody and a lot of the VPs are not getting along. They look like all the VPs, how they all getting along. But we just had to see on that. And hopefully this is just a typo. We just hope that this don't be the case. All right. That is Hot Topics. Let's move forward back to the predicted outcome for WWE Backlash, our second half of WWE Backlash. WWE Backlash will be in the Thunderdome in Tampa, where WrestleMania was. They said WWE Backlash, and Backlash is coming. All right, we talked about that later on. We'll give you a recap of all the matches when we get done. Well, knowing this, Bianca Belair, who emerged at WrestleMania victorious, winning the SmackDown Women's title. Bianca Belair now is getting her first title defense, and she defends her first title against Bayley. Bayley, the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion in SmackDown history, now gets a shot at the title. We haven't seen and heard from Sasha Banks ever since she lost at WrestleMania. We know Sasha Banks was on that SmackDown, and she just walked off like she was pissed off. She couldn't believe she lost to Bianca Belair, who was the best person, best wrestler on that night. Any wrestler can get beat on any given night, but Bianca Belair was that best wrestler. She won. Well, Bianca will get her try this first championship this week after she must defend. And they had this past week on SmackDown. Bayley didn't come near the ring where Bianca Belair was. She issued Bianca Belair a warning that she's coming for that women's title. Well, Bianca Belair has that first championship defense. So I see Bianca Belair retaining the SmackDown Women's title and move on to next. Like Paul Heyman warned Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks is coming. You just don't know when she's going to be coming at. She's coming. We just don't know when. But she will get her first title defense against Bayley. And hopefully she showed Mrs. Ding Dong the way out the door with a whip, like she did Sasha at Mania. Also, another women's title match is online. And another triple threat on Raw. Raw got two triple threat matches for two world championships from WWE and now the WWE Raw Women's title. And Rhea Ripley defends her title against Charlotte and Asuka. Well, Rhea Ripley came out of nowhere, making her debut on Raw and challenged Asuka for the women's title at WrestleMania. Well, now Rhea Ripley, feeling the pressure as being champion, she defends her gold against fellow foe Charlotte and another new foe, Asuka. Rhea Ripley got her hands tied, like we said in the triple threat match, that the champion does not have to be pinned to lose the title. So Rhea Ripley does not have to be pinned in order to lose her title. And I think this was going to be the case. Charlotte Flair will win this match, and she will defeat Asuka and move forward to Rhea and Charlotte for the women's title. Charlotte Flair developing a new attitude that she's deep-skinned, she's tired, she's the new Charlotte Flair. She wants respect. Many people ain't giving her respect. This could be Charlotte Flair's 13-time women's world title. Looking forward to the top level elite that Charlotte Flair has done. And the main event, I believe, Roman Reigns defends his Universal title against Cesaro. Roman Reigns coming off WrestleMania as well, defeated Edge and Daniel Bryan in the middle at WrestleMania. Like he said, he pinned them and he stacked them. Roman Reigns banished Daniel Bryan from SmackDown, and now Cesaro looking to get revenge for Daniel Bryan and a host of other people that Roman Reigns has banished. Roman Reigns says that he is the head of the table on the SmackDown Kingdom. No question about it. Roman Reigns had been dominated ever since winning the title back last summer around August. So Roman Reigns coming back with a vengeance. And Roman Reigns coming back in the vengeance as well. Cesaro coming from the momentum as well for WrestleMania when he defeated Seth Rollins in that fantastic match at WrestleMania. Now Cesaro gets a chance in a lifetime to become Universal Champion. And can Cesaro do the impossible? Win the SmackDown Universal title off of the shoulder of the man that's been carrying the show and carrying the brand for almost a year. It's a possibility that could happen, and it could happen as well. This past week, Cesaro was in action against Jey Uso after Jey Uso and Roman Reigns are having a tussle over the Universal, not the Universal title, but a tussle of family respect. Cesaro finished Jimmy off, and now Cesaro can now focus his target this Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash against Roman Reigns. Look for Roman Reigns to retain the Universal Championship. Cesaro will be putting a good effort and good fought match, but it just won't be too much for Cesaro. Cesaro will come close, but he won't come close as a cigar. So look for Roman Reigns to win the Universal Championship. All right, like I said, we're going to give you a quick recap of all the matches that you missed. Like I said Roman Reigns will defeat Cesaro and still be Universal Champion at WrestleMania. Look for Charlotte Flair to become the new Raw Women's Champion and wins her 13-time world title over Rhea Ripley and Asuka. So this is going to be another one. Bianca Belair will retain her Women's Championship in her first title defense against Bayley, the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley won't have a chance of being Bianca Belair. Also, another triple threat match for the Raw brand. The WWE title is on the line as Bobby Lashley defends his title against Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley has been a dominant champion ever since winning the title from The Miz and defeating the likes of Drew and a host of others. Look for Bobby's world title reign to come to an end at Backlash. Also, the lumberjack match as The Miz takes on Damian Priest one-on-one in a lumberjack match. Superstars will be surrounding the ring to make sure both combatants are in the ring at the same time to keep no one from interfering. So look for Damian Priest to win over the Miz. Also, SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line as the Dirty Dogs defend their goal against Rey Mysterio and Dominic. Can Rey Mysterio and Dominic make history as the first father-son duo to win WWE Tag Gold? I believe they will do so this Sunday. So, WrestleMania Backlash is here, and we hope you're watching WrestleMania Backlash as we'll be watching live on Peacock, the Peacock Network. Yeah, Peacock. So, a lot going on this week. Hopefully, we see you coming off the heels of WrestleMania Backlash. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and we'll see you at WrestleMania Backlash. See you later.